tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
You guys, we made it to Friday. We made it.
Yes!
Look at us go. Look at us go together.
So excited.
Yeah, let's go. Jerks is right. Let's go, jerks. Mark, let's do it. Okay, what's coming up on today's show? I will tell you. What's coming up. Hunter, he's pled guilty. What? Okay. Bongino has a warning for conservatives. Joe Biden fesses up on the Inflation Reduction Act, and CNN blasts Kamala for using Trump's border wall in ads. I'm here for that. All that and so much more coming up on today's show. Make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast, like you have clicked all the appropriate things and the inappropriate things, whatever. And then tell your friends and go to chicksontheright.com/links/whatever. And go follow us on all the other things too, all the socials and whatnot. Do that.
Do it.
It's Friday, you guys. It's Friday. Woo!
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it being Friday.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a long show. Just FYI, it's going to be a normal show today because it's Friday and we just need to have a normal show.
That's true. We really do need to have a normal show. It's true.
I mean, we need it. I feel like you guys need it. I just feel like we all need it. You know what I'm saying?
We do. We do. We need some time. Mock needs to refinish some more furniture.
Which question for you and any other furniture refinishing fanatics?
People, yes.
When you have a piece of furniture that has like teeny tiny grooves and detail and like all kinds of, it's not just smooth, but it's like intricate. What do you use when you're refinishing it? Because normally, like on the smooth stuff, I just use steel wool. Okay. And so, what do I use to get into the little grooves?
What do you mean to get? Because are you sanding it?
No. Well, I mean, I already sanded it, but like with the furniture stripper stuff, like the chemical, how do I apply it to those tiny little areas?
Can you use a brush?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is like, what sort of brush?
I think a brush. Somebody said toothbrush, like a little toothbrush, a small wire brush, a little brush.
Okay.
Yeah.
A toothbrush is an interesting idea.
Yeah. You're going to have to be intricate about it. Fine wire brush I think a toothbrush is a great idea. Like a little brush. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like the smallest brush you can find in a toothbrush is pretty small.
That's pretty. Yeah. Yeah. A Q-tip. Okay. That's another good idea.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll disintegrate on contact with this refinisher that I use. It is like I wear a mask and everything when I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. It's true. If I had no hands, I couldn't talk. You're right. Jim's like, God, what would I do? I would never be able to function.
I've never worn masks when I've done that, which probably explains why my brain is the way it is. I just go out there and I just start using chemicals, you guys.
But how can you stand the smell?
I know, right?
It's so potent. I can't even, I hate it. And I'm outside. You know what I mean?
I know. It's gross. I have problems.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wire brushes. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like a plastic toothbrush, I feel like it'll just melt. This stuff is.
Stuff. It is. It's fierce.
It is fierce. All right. Well, I didn't mean to get off tangent about all.
Look at all these people that refinish furniture in our comment section. God, our community. Everybody's so handy. I love it.
So handy and creative. And I am not. This is like a big fat chore for me. And
fantastic.
I cannot wait for it to be over. Cannot wait. All right. Let's get to a couple of Venmos that we got from Miss Shelley yesterday. This is the one that she always has shit to say.
She has shit to say, you guys.
So she said, "Morning, girls, from your girl with shit to say. I'm so excited about the meow greens for my Snickers. We already do coat defense and I use Field of Greens. So now my Snick gets her greens.
Hi,
love
Snick.
y'all.
Hi, Snick.
Snickers.
Snick needs a snack.
And then Shelly also says, shit to say, number 2.
There we go.
Funny how the rhinos like Liz are the ones going over to the Dem side and they're already sellouts, but the Dems coming into the light, it's like they're waking up finally. It's interesting.
It is. It's very interesting.
It is very interesting to see. And by the way, if you are not familiar with what she is talking about when it comes to Meow Greens. Let me just tell you, if you missed yesterday's show, our friends at Ruff Greens, and this is the nutrition supplement for dogs that we've been telling you about for years, put together by naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black at Ruff Greens. Now there is Meow Greens, and it is this all-in-one essential cat nutrition. So this helps with your cat's skin and coat. It helps their immune system. It helps their digestive system. It basically just brings their little dry cat food to life, and it comes in these handy little serving packets.
I love that they're individual packets.
Right? It's the
yeah.
Ever. You sprinkle it on their food, and I'm guessing because dogs love it, I'm assuming that the cats will love it just as much as the dogs, and it's just good for them. Let me show you what it looks like when you go to ruffchicks.com. It looks like this, and so if you're interested in the cat product, you can see there's a for cats tab right here.
Cats for Snick.
It's for Snick and all the other kitties.
For the cats.
So you can go to ruffchicks.com and you can get a free jumpstart trial bag of either Ruff Greens for dogs or the new Meow Greens for cats. So it's ruffchicks.com. That's where you can get either product for dogs or cats, but you should, because it's good for them and you need to.
Carol asked if you can.
Cats right.
Carol asked if you can put it on wet food. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I don't know why you wouldn't even mix it in. You can just mix it right in there.
Put it on wet food. Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's a great idea. And you should report back on how that works.
Do it.
Because I don't have a cat. So I can't tell you if, like, I can't say my cat loves it because I don't have a cat.
Yep. And I'm waiting on my cat from the universe. I feel like it's coming any day now.
Any day now. Okay, let's get back to some headlines. So we showed those two Venmos, but we also have other screenshot headlines that are important to share with you, namely that Nostradamus guy, that guy that like has correctly predicted elections for basically ever. He is saying it's going to be Kamala, you guys. So take that with all the grains of salt, okay? Because you should. This guy may have had a good record, but it doesn't mean that it's happening for sure. Because, for example, as Colin Rugg pointed out, this guy, Alan Lichtman, that's the Nostradamus guy, he has correctly predicted 9 out of 10 recent elections, except for 2000, which is kind of a big one. And he also incorrectly predicted that Trump would win the popular vote in 2016. So he's not always right. And so I'm just putting it out there that, yes, he's making this prediction, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's 100% right all of the time. And now Nate Silver is saying that there's a 58% chance Trump is going to win versus Harris's 42%. So see, it just depends on who you listen to.
Yeah. If Kamala wins, it's because they had shenanigans. Yeah. That's how I feel about it. There's lots of shenanigans and illegal, like when I say shenanigans, lots of illegals voting, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So,
especially because we know how much she will suck as a president. Look at her tax hike plan on its own.
My God.
We're looking at capital gains going from 20 to 28%. The top income tax bracket going from 37 to almost 40%.
What the hell?
I know. Unrealized capital gains, which you've got to tune into our podcast with Zach Abraham from Bulwark Capital Management this weekend, because he talks a lot about that. It's 0% right now, as it should be.
Yeah.
And it's going to go to 25% for those with 100 million net worth. But that's just the tip of the iceberg.
You guys
going to trickle down.
Yeah, you guys have got to pay attention to that. The unrealized capital gain stuff absolutely freaks me out. It really does. It should freak everybody out because that is a slippery slope. And just like Mock says, it will absolutely trickle down. Once they open that door and that can of worms, we're done. We're done. It is socialism. Social GCQC. It is absolute communism is what they've opened the door to. So it's crazy town. This 40% top income tax rate. What are we, France? What's even happening? Oh my God.
And then already they're taking a tax from your investment income. So if you have retirement plans, if you've got 401ks, IRAs, whatever, savings accounts sitting around, you're already getting taxed on that 3.8%. It's going up to 5% under Kamala. And then the corporate tax rate, she's talking about taking it from 15 to 28%. And she's going to try to go out there and say, oh, I'm all for the working class
For small business.
and small businesses. Please.
Yeah. F you, lady. F you.
And that's, of course, on top of the fact that she would allow the Trump tax cuts to expire. So we're already going to get a tax hike instantly the second that those expire, because she's not going to renew them. And then on top of that, she's going to increase it. And yet we're supposed to believe that people are going to vote for her as president. I just can't.
Well, there will be a lot of stupid people that do and think that they're going to, and they're the same people that are like, I'm going to get free college.
Right.
My loans are going to be paid off like poof. You know, they're just going to cancel them. They're those people, those stupid ass people that believe that stuff, that believe that money comes from, unicorn farts and puppy kisses. That's what they believe. These are the dumb people that we're fighting against. But I do, on top of that, believe that if they win, it's because of shenanigans.
Yeah. It absolutely, there's no other explanation for it. And now there's actually a lot of videos, you can find them all over social media, of voter registration booths where I saw one this morning even where this guy, and this was somewhere in Arizona, I think. And so this nonpartisan, this group is trying to get people registered to vote, and all they require is an ID. So this guy went up to them and said, hi, I'm from like, I don't even know, like Yugoslavia or wherever. He was from some other country. And he said, but I'm able to get a state ID. So can I register to vote? And at first they'll say, you have to be a United States citizen to vote. And he was like, well, what proof do I need to tell you that I'm a US citizen? And they say nothing, because
just tell us,
just say it. I mean, that there's no mechanism to verify citizenship, which means, of course, there are people that are going to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. You're just going to have like illegals walking in. They're going, yeah, I'm a citizen.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing.
Absolutely will happen.
Yep. And I got to show ID to get a freaking Sudafed.
Right.
It's just madness, you guys. It's madness.
It's absolutely crazy. But that is why Democrats are so afraid of the SAVE Act, and why our government's probably going to get shut down, because they won't vote on requiring proof of citizenship. They just won't.
Yep. They don't want to.
Trump mentioned, he did an economic briefing yesterday, and we've got some clips of that to share with you in just a little bit. But at that speech that he gave, he did say, Elon Musk suggested having this government efficiency commission, and I'm going to do it. He said it's happening. And Elon said, I look forward to serving America if the opportunity arises. No pay, no title, and no recognition is needed.
God, this would be such a beautiful thing. Spend analysis. That's all we need him to go in there and just start cutting fat like he did at Twitter. And there would be so many butthurt people, and I am here for it.
So here for it. Oh my God.
God, I would get the popcorn and I would just watch.
Yeah.
Watch as all the inefficient, inept, unnecessary people. I mean, bye now, bye. It's just, it would be a thing of beauty.
And then we could finally see the end of nonsense like this. So the HHS just awarded $225,000 to the University of Colorado to study, and this is not a joke, whether trans masculine adolescents can benefit from cross-sex hormones as migraine treatment.
Oh my God. You guys,
this is the kind of shit that our money is going to fund. It's just, it's nonsense.
I can assure you you're not going to benefit. There's no migraine benefit. It's so absurd what they spend our money on. What was it what do they call what is the Rand Paul that study called? There's a name for it.
Oh,
his study. I can't remember the name of his study, but he does like this is what they've wasted your money on every year study. And it's, you look at it, and I think it was like almost $1 trillion that they they literally set on fire of our money.
Yeah.
The Festivus. Thank you. The Festivus report. Thank you, Carrie. Yes. And it's, which is a great name for it. Right. But that's what he names it. You guys, I encourage you to go look at it, because the stuff you see in it, you're like, you cannot make it up. It's just crazy what we're throwing our money away on. Yeah.
It just is infuriating.
It is.
It's absolutely infuriating.
Mhm.
Now, here's an interesting thing. I know yesterday we played that video, like showing all kinds of people, Trump, Kamala, everybody in AI and like wearing horrible things and eating AI is just so disturbing, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it can be useful. For example, Weinstein, or, I'm sorry, not Brett, Eric Weinstein asked GPT to imagine a modern political party and that all you know about that party is the following. And then he laid out how Democrats have been democrating lately. So you imagine a party that champions rights for state-sponsored schools, public schools, over the rights of parents on behalf of their own kids. It promotes equality of outcome over a level playing field. It's concerned that unfettered speech is a threat to the safety of the population. It supports candidates chosen by party leaders rather than the people via primaries.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It celebrates choices for irreversible self-sterilization via reproductive surgical mutilation within the K-12 curriculum, and it does not want people to have to show ID to vote. You ask ChatGPT that, and the question is, to which political parties is this unspecified party most similar worldwide and throughout history? And here's what Grok says. Communist or socialist parties, authoritarian regimes, and progressive movements.
Mm-hmm. Surprise!
Yeah, and then on ChatGPT, you can replicate it over and over. It mentions Maoist China as an example, the CCP, the Soviet Union, North Korea, the Nazis, and this is today's Democrats.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then they turn around and they point fingers at us and they'll say, you guys are Nazis. I don't think you know what that word means.
It just makes no sense.
It doesn't. They gaslight. They're the kings, the high priestesses of gaslighting. This is what they do. So make no mistake. That's who they are. That's who these people are. They're the commies. And you gotta.
I mean, they're just literally trolling, at lightning speed the entire history that's on the internet, and that's what they get.
And away from the internet, in the history books, which people don't read anymore.
Yeah,
and it's not taught in schools anymore, and neither is civics, which is unfortunate. Because if civics was taught, then kids would know this, and they'd be like, "I'm on to you, Democrats, and I'm not going to be one."
I think it was last week that we introduced, or maybe the week before now, I can't remember, but we introduced a new sponsor, Life 360, which I'm super stoked about because I've been using it for years and years and years.
We love it.
Oh my God, it's so great. It's so great. And
we got the only thing that I'm not super happy about is that my husband knows how fast I'm going in the car.
Well, that's true. It's true. You can track the speed and the driving history of all of your people in your circle.
Totally.
We got a testimonial from Martha Sheriff, who wrote, "I am so glad Life 360 has joined in on the fun. I love this app.
We do
Several
too.
years ago, during spring break, my son and his family went skiing while I stayed home and took care of the dogs. One day, I looked at Life 360 and wondered what all of these short trips the kids were taking. We figured out it was their ski runs, which had the length and the miles per hour.
Love it.
And so all of a sudden, the kids were having contests for the fastest and longest runs for the day.
Oh my God.
As well as being useful, it can be really fun too. Love you girls. You're the greatest, from a loving Grammy. Mark.
That is so cute. I love that. Yeah.
Isn't that the greatest?
That is really cool. Yeah, we love it. I mean, I love it. Listen, our daughter's not driving yet. It's going to come in handy when she's driving, but I do like knowing like she has to go to a different school at the end of the day to go to swim. She does like swim practice every single day after school. I like knowing that she's going from one place to the other, and it says Gwen is at swim now, from her high school. And I'm like, okay, I feel it gives me a sense of security. I'm like, okay, she's safe and she's in the place she's supposed to be in. And then when she's driving, I'll feel the same way. And I'll be able to say, why are you going so fast?
Kind of like we do it to Jackson all the time.
Right. Like my husband says to me right now. So it'll trickle down. It's great, you guys. Yeah.
It really is. And I know a lot of people, the last time we talked about it, a lot of people were like, that's so stalky.
Oh my God.
Invasion of privacy. No one is forcing you to do this. The people that are in your circle willingly want to be there with you. So
our family, we all stalk each other, and we do it happily. We all stalk each other, and it's fantastic. We love it. Absolutely love it.
It's just so handy, especially if you have a lot of kids and you're trying to figure out who's got to go where and when's somebody taking the. It's just so handy for so many reasons that we've listed, but also because they do the tiles too, where it's kind of like an air tag, but it's their version and they're super, super handy. When you go to life360.com or you just download the app Life360 today and use code CHICKS, you will get a month of the gold package for free, plus 15% off of all tiles. So check it out, life360.com, or just download the app. It is awesome. Okay, so back to some headlines. I don't know if it's too long to play, but there was this amazing video that Steven Crowder and his like investigative team did, very Project Veritas-y. So along those, it even looks like a Project Veritas video, but he has some girl that went undercover. I don't know if it was a date or just an outing with the what was he called? Let me get his title exactly right. It was the DOJ Chief of Public Affairs. So the DOJ Chief of Public Affairs was on this outing with this girl, and she's asking him all these questions about all of the charges and all of the cases against Trump going through the legal system. And this guy, who is in a definite position to know and who knows Alvin Bragg very, very well, worked with him directly for like 15 years, openly admitted this is a completely politically motivated perversion of justice. And the only reason that all of these cases have happened is because they wanted to make Donald Trump a convicted felon ahead of this year's election. This guy knows it. He's the chief of public affairs for the DOJ. So this video, if you haven't seen it, go watch it where you can. You will not be able to see it on Facebook because they've already censored it and taken it down.
Unbelievable.
And I don't know what the reason is, but it's ridiculous.
I mean, come on, Zuckerberg. You've said out loud that you did that and you're kind of ashamed of doing it. Stop doing it then.
Right? This is why it's so surprising. I don't get it. I do not get it.
I'm not surprised, but I mean, like, if you want to make good with the American people and you actually don't want to be a schmuck, then quit doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so irritated by this.
I know, but it's definitely worth watching. Yeah, everybody's saying election interference. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Again.
And Steven Crowder does promise that this is just the first of many exclusive, like, undercover operations that they have coming before the election. So we're going to learn a lot, but you're only going to see it on places like Rumble, Locals, Twitter. You're not going to see it on your traditional Facebook Meta platforms. You just won't, and we already know it because it's already censored there, which is absolutely insane.
It's just unreal.
Insane. Earlier this week, we talked about the fact that Brazil has banned Twitter. And before we get to that, this was just funny to me because Salon had this article saying congressional Democrats are demanding Trump provide evidence he did not take a $10 million bribe from Egypt. And I love this chick that was like, I'm no lawyer, but shouldn't they have to provide evidence that he did?
I know. It's like, when did you stop beating your wife?
Right.
This is so stupid.
My God.
I swear, these people will stop at nothing.
They just won't stop. I mean, they just won't stop. So Twitter being banned in Brazil. Amazingly, according to Mike Benz, it has been a full week now, and the U.S. State Department has been completely silent on this banning. There's nothing on their U.S. Embassy website. There's nothing on their U.S. Embassy X account. There's been no public statements by the U.S. ambassador to Brazil. They're just acting like it's not happening. And it's not even that they just banned X. They have seized Starlink's assets. And Starlink is a completely separate company. So they're lawless in Brazil right now. And the fact that our own U.S. State Department won't say anything, it's just incredible. And it's not because they're not saying other stuff. For example, just yesterday, they thought it was important enough to post about increasing the self-confidence of people with disabilities. So it's not like they're not working.
Yeah, I feel like listen, and I don't think I'm alone in this. What silence is, you're complicit, like you're agreeing with it. So they agree with this. They think it's great. They hate X. They hate Elon.
God.
They want to take him down. They hate free speech. They hate speech that doesn't agree with them. and they want to squelch it. They hate disinformation. We've heard Kamala say that. Kamala's like, I want to go after the disinformation. What does that even mean?
And we have another clip of her saying that back in 2019, which is really chilling, like super chilling. We'll show that in a little bit. But you're right. I mean, she is absolutely pro censorship and pro misinformation management and all of that nonsense. It's wow. It is wow. An update on the school shooting that took place in Georgia. The father of the murderer has now been arrested in connection with the murder because he's the one that bought the AR-15 for his son after they were both questioned about the threats that the son made to a school last year. So imagine you got the FBI coming and saying, your son's making these like terrible threats, threatening to shoot up schools. We need to talk about that. And them saying, oh, no, like I was hacked or whatever their excuse was. And then going out and getting him a 14-year-old an AR-15 for his birthday.
Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. I mean, I like the one in Michigan. I think that one was, you can think what you want to think about the one in Michigan where the parents were put in jail. But like, this is the kid's a lunatic. He threatens to shoot up a school. And I think that it was his middle school. He tells the FBI that, he has no access to guns and the father does too. And then the father buys him an AR for Christmas. That he needs to go to jail. The father needs to go to jail. He's an accessory, honestly. Yeah. That's how I feel about this. So, I mean, it's like putting a match to gasoline. Mm-hmm. And his mother is a lunatic. She's a criminal.
And has a record. Yeah, she's
got a 10-year record. Yeah, she got a 10-year record. This family, they were on the FBI's radar for a year. So, they probably should have dug a little deeper, but I guess they were too busy putting grandmas in jail for praying outside of an abortion clinic. You can't do that. You got to they're really busy, you guys. Yeah.
And then lastly, here's some good news. And that is that Winsome Sears has filed paperwork to run for Virginia governor in 2025.
Look at that.
And I like her.
Oh, I love her. She's a badass. That's fantastic.
She's good people. And so that's very, very exciting news. Yep. And I wish her all the best, obviously. Let's take a quick break and say some thank yous to Judy Flood, who said good morning. And so in time, thank you, says it's my 61st birthday, celebrating for the first time in the free state of Texas. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
The Great Gatsby says grassroots movement change tax day from April 15th to November 1st. Just in time for elections. I love that idea.
Yep. Wouldn't that be great?
Evitar, thank you. He says, I love how these people are against Israel and claim that Jews have all the money in the world. Well, biatches, we got our shit together. We don't believe in unicorns and we don't vote Harris. It's easy.
I love it.
Kim Hermanson, thank you. Kim says, so many of my clients are voting for Kamala because Trump can't keep his mouth shut and is a horrible guy, not caring at all about policies. It's scary.
Yeah, that is scary.
Oh, God. Why are there so many people that cannot get past
because
his personality?
it goes back to your thing about the whole dumbassery thing.
Yeah.
People vote based on their feels. Yeah.
And then people wonder why I bring it up when he does step on his own unit. It's because we recognize that this is happening. It needs to be discussed. And we can't just ignore it. We can't just ignore that there's people like that are like, well, he can't shut up. And so I'm going to vote for the commie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Going back to the tax day thing, the November 1st, Mock and I have talked about this a lot in the past 15 years. If people were forced to like write a check or push out their taxes separately from their paychecks,
yes,
there would be a lot more Republicans/conservatives in this country, but they're not. You don't see it. You don't see it going out. And so you don't have to internalize what you're paying every 2 weeks or whatever, however often you're paid. And so people don't feel it as much when you have to push it out like a bill. If they had to actually pay a bill and they had to pay their taxes in that way every 2 weeks or every month or whatever, you'd see a lot more conservatives.
I think that's right. And I wish that that's how it works.
Yep.
But the government wants to get their money the easy way. And that's why everybody gets it just yanked.
Direct deposit, basically.
Kim Donaldson, thank you. Kim says, so Kamala Harris wants small business and startups to explode, but she said she and the government can take your patents. Nothing does make sense. Nothing.
Communist.
Fooball Jesus says Lichtman prediction is based on false input data. He claims the economy is good and Trump has no charisma. Of course his outcome is wrong. I'm just listen. I
hope he's wrong. I hope he's wrong, you guys.
I know, same. But again, to the earlier point, there are people that are like, I don't like him.
He's orange. That's not in my color wheel.
Becky Potter says Trump won't be on the Oregon ballot. Word is didn't pay the $3,500 to get on it. We're far from a swing with only 8 votes, but oh my God, we need all the votes we can get. Is that right?
Huh.
I can't imagine that is right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, Alexandra says Life 360 named my mom Speed because of how much she travels in such a little amount of time. Brian Brumley says my family has used Life 360 for a couple of years now. It's fun to stalk your grandkids. Please take my money and don't forget Friday flaps.
Oh my gosh, I got to do that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to some videos. The big news of the day yesterday was some craziness happening basically all day long with the Hunter jury selection trial, which that's what it was supposed to be, is a jury selection day. It was not that because about midday, Hunter surprised everyone, including prosecutors, by saying, yeah, I'm going to do one of those Alford pleas where I say I'm guilty, but I don't really feel like I'm guilty, but I'm willing to accept the punishment from a guilty verdict. So I'm just going to do that. And then everybody like exploded. The media was like, what's happening? And the prosecutor was like, what's happening? And it went around and around. And then finally, prosecutors were like, no, that we're not doing that. Like, you don't get to do that. And so here is a breakdown of how things ended up from CNN.
Yes, Jake, the judge has now accepted Hunter's formal plea to plead guilty on all 9 counts that he was facing. Now, we spent the last couple of hours with prosecutors basically running through all 56 pages of this indictment that goes through a lot of the behavior that prosecutors said he was doing during the time he was addicted to crack cocaine, earning millions of dollars, about $7 million during this time, but not paying his taxes. Instead, what prosecutors said, and they read all of these details out in court, they said he was spending his money on exotic dancers, on sex clubs, basically everything he was claiming as business expenses, and they were not business expenses. And so at the end of that period, the judge, Mark Scarsey, asked Hunter Biden whether he pleaded guilty to each specific count. After each one, Hunter Biden said guilty. And at the end of that, the judge accepted the plea, and he scheduled sentencing for Hunter Biden on December 16th. Of course, that means both convictions for Hunter Biden. He was earlier this year was convicted on gun charges in Wilmington, Delaware. That sentencing is set for mid-November. So both of these now will be set for after the November election. The date there, of course, Jake, is very key. The President of the United States has said that he is not going to pardon his son. The White House has said it's not going to be a commutation. But those are obviously things when the president was still running for re-election. That is no longer the case. We're expecting...
He's totally going to be pardoned.
Oh my God. Of course he is.
I mean, hello. Everybody knows it. Anybody with a brain knows he's going to be pardoned. He's got Biden privilege. He's got Democrat privilege.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no question. Like, and it doesn't matter if it's in December, November, whenever the sentencing for these cases happens, he absolutely will get pardoned just in the nick of time. I mean, he's got till what, January 21st or whenever the inauguration is. Like, he's just in the nick of time. And that is why they're moving forward, right? Because he knew the writing is on the wall. If he was going to have a whole ass trial, all of his dirty laundry would be brought out. He doesn't want that. So now they're trying to paint him as this brave, courageous soul for protecting his family from having to go through that horrible court case.
And he beat addiction, you guys. Don't be mean to him. He was a crack addict. I don't know. You may have it because we were really good at preparing for the show today. But Jonathan Turley he compared him to Marie Antoinette.
I don't.
And people
have that.
were like, "Let them do blow." That's it's just like, because the privilege on this, he's just dripping.
Oh my God.
Privilege. You guys would never get away with this. You'd be in jail.
And we do have a clip about that, about the privilege, and that it'll come right after this one. This one I just wanted to show because Kristen Welker is kind of a bitch. So when she's interviewing this weenie Joe Biden or Kamala surrogate person, like spokesperson, just super weenie guy, and she's wanting to know, okay, we've heard Joe Biden say that he's not going to pardon or commute the sentence. Would Kamala commit to doing that? And the way that she keeps asking it is just like,
bitchy.
Calm down, Kristen. What?
Would Vice President Harris pardon him, or is that off the table?
Well, you've heard President Biden make the commitment that that wouldn't happen. I wouldn't imagine that changing with Vice President Harris.
Is she committed to that?
Obviously, you know, the case is still ongoing, and we want to be really careful and respectful of the court process. I don't think that this should be politicized from the Harris camp.
Yeah.
So
Understood. I mean, President Biden has taken it off the table. Has the Vice President taken it off the table?
Well, I just answered. I said I think that she's not planning to pardon anyone. But again, I think it's important to understand there's no sentence or anything like that happening right now. And so, you know, I would leave this question to the White House and to President Biden, and obviously to Hunter Biden and his personal team.
I don't know. I kind of like that line of questioning. He wasn't answering it, and when he was answering it, you know, he was lying. All the lies.
Said, I have no reason to believe that she would do anything different than what Joe Biden said. And she was like, so is she committing? Is she committing to it? Like, I mean, I was like,
but I did like, he's like, we got to be respectful to the judicial process. Yeah. Okay. Like Hunter was respectful to all the whores. Yeah. About as respectful you're going to be to the judicial process. Okay. All right. Yeah.
So about that privilege, I thought the legal editor over at, I think it's Fox. Yeah. At Fox talked about his privilege in a very compelling way.
Broader point, you know, I don't see how this is sympathetic to a jury. You have people in America who are struggling, you know, paycheck to paycheck. They pay their taxes. It's a huge burden, and they don't have the luxury of having their dad get them out of it if they fail to do so. In fact, there's really only one person in this country who has that privilege, and it's Hunter Biden. And we're going to hear details about how he wrote off, you know, expenses like prostitutes and drugs and all these kinds, his business expenses. This is just not sympathetic to a jury.
And so real quickly, like 20 seconds, as they pick the jury, are they going to say, did you vote for his dad? And would that disqualify a juror from sitting on the panel?
Oh, I'm sure they're going to ask them political questions. And what I think that Hunter Biden's lawyers are going to be looking for is anyone who's had a family, say, issue with addiction, or they've struggled with addiction themselves, because my understanding is that that's their whole defense. Well, he was addicted to drugs, therefore not paying taxes is okay. But as we all know, it really is irrelevant.
Yeah, it was obviously before the guilty plea.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, she's right about the privilege. He's got daddy to take care of it all.
Of course. And she's absolutely right. They are absolutely right about the whole, well, I mean, he was on drugs, you guys. So it's okay.
Cut him a break. There's so many families dealing with that.
I mean, come on. He's a drug addict. So it's okay that he did all of these things, and he did all these videos with the whores and the drugs. And come on, like, you guys would do the same thing. No, actually, no. I no. And if anybody in my family did this, we'd be in jail. All of the things that he's been charged with, we'd be in jail right now. Because I don't have that kind of privilege. I don't. It's unbelievable. None of us do.
It's
right.
Oh my God.
It's
all right.
Just infuriating.
Moving on, we talked yesterday about the whole hullabaloo with Tenet Media, with Russia Today, with all the conservative influencers, Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Lauren Southern,
Rubio. Is not, yeah. No, did I say Rubio? You said Rubio. Ruben. Sorry.
Dave Rubin, a couple others. They were sort of mentioned or tied. They were entangled with this whole thing because they were unwitting participants in receiving money from Russia, even though they didn't know that it was from Russia. And so there's been a lot of fallout. Obviously, you might expect that. But there's people that are like, if you watch Joe Scarborough, for example, or if you watch Joy Reid, they are acting as though Benny Johnson, Dave Rubin, and the others are personally responsible for accepting Russian bribes and Russian money to do specific things when that didn't happen. And they are completely misreporting the story. And there's no consequence for their misinformation, right? They just get to say it. And that's just that. They just get to report it that way.
Why not though? They're gonna, I mean, I would hope those people have some sort of, they can sue or, I mean, because
I would love for that to happen.
That's defamation. You don't get to do that. You don't get to say that if it's not true. Yeah. I feel like if we're flipped and they were saying that about Democrats, that that would be deemed misinformation, because it is in fact misinformation. It's just not freaking true. It's not.
I know. And the way that they're spinning it is just so egregious.
Yeah.
And Matt Taibbi was on with Martha McCallum to talk about this whole news story and whether or not it's really a big deal.
One more question here. I don't think anybody is surprised, I guess, is what is the point that I'm making, that Russia tries to influence people's thinking around the world. So does China, so does Iran, and they're big players in this. But when it came to Iran, they did not say that Iran appears to be supporting the Harris campaign in similar efforts on social media. Why do you think that was, Matt?
Because the utility of this story, as a propaganda vehicle, is entirely designed. It's aimed at Donald Trump squarely. This story would not be in the news. You wouldn't have every network covering it. You wouldn't have Joe Scarborough doing rants about it if it didn't have a Donald Trump angle to it. And this has been true since the very first time they unveiled this story way back in 2016. We've seen so many iterations of this same theme, and every time it turns out to be less than meets the eye, or a hoax like I discovered with the Hamilton 68 site in the Twitter files, or the Steele dossier. So, we'll find out. But this idea that there's this ongoing, relentless, massive organized campaign by Russia to get Donald Trump elected is just a phony story. This might be a real story, but it's not a big story.
Right. It's like, at this point, it's a John Grisham novel to me. I'm bored with it. It's like the same freaking theme over and over and over again. He's absolutely right about that. I'm done. Like, I can't even tune into this stuff, because I think they believe that the populace is so dumb that they're going to continue to buy the Russia thing. I mean, it's the same crap from 2016, 2020. Are you guys buying this bullshit? I mean, it's like Russia again. We're doing this again.
Yeah.
I can't. I just can't. Like, I'm not that dumb. I'm not doing this
and
again.
when they have like the Morning Joes and Joy Reids of the world talking breathlessly about this as if it's some gigantic proof of Trump being involved with Russia, which makes no sense. They don't even have enough self-awareness to recognize that they're the ones that are engaged in the propaganda.
Right.
They're the puppets for Russia, essentially.
They are absolutely.
And they just don't get it. And it's amazing.
Right. It's
amazing. Now, that said, Dan Bongino put out a pretty stern warning to conservatives like us, for example, that you better know who you're talking to if you are a person of influence out there and you're making deals and you're trying to get paid for whatever. Be careful, because this is a thing that might be happening.
But I'd be remiss as a former federal agent to not warn people that given these accusations, are other people, I'm not accusing anyone specifically, I want to be clear, are people working with the feds right now to try to ensnare other conservative influencers into this alleged operation? I'm just going to say this. Be very careful who you're emailing, and be very careful who you're talking to. And be very careful that you're not talking to someone working with the feds on the other end of the line.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing that everybody ghosts us and we've never been offered $10 million. Guess that's a good thing, right? So we're good.
Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, the whole gang, they were making $400,000 a month, you guys.
Holy crap. Yeah, I can assure you, we're okay, you guys. We're not in bed with Russia.
No, if that's what they're paying, we're definitely no.
Yeah.
In fact, but we did joke with our Radio America team. We were like, "Can you confirm that you guys are not Russian
You're not
spies?"
Russians? That you're not Russian? Yeah.
But I mean, dang, you have to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe when you get to be that level of a Tim Pool or a Benny Johnson, when you get to be that rich and that important in your sphere,
you don't read contracts, you don't read
or
things?
maybe you just don't. Maybe you're like, this is a standard contract, because again, they didn't know who the investor was. They were given a story about that. But maybe they get to a point where they're so rich and so famous that they just expect that $400,000 a month is completely legitimate, even though they're not required to do anything for it except have their content in a certain place on the internet.
Can
you imagine?
No, I can't imagine any of this. I can't imagine, like you said, be careful who you're talking to. We're like, we're Romy and Michelle of the conservative world. People don't write.
Totally.
We're those girls. So I don't think we're ever going to even ever experience that. And I'm okay with that. Cause I like where we are. 400.
I don't even know how to imagine.
I can't even imagine. Okay.
You mentioned Kamala being, super. She definitely has a stance on when it comes to social media. They need to police their platforms. And here she is. This is back in 2019 talking about it. She's got some weird vocal affects in this particular clip too. I know we've talked about her accent. We're going to talk about it again because there's a great montage that includes Megyn Kelly about that. But why does she talk this way?
Hold social media platforms accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms, because they have a responsibility to help fight against this threat to our democracy. And if you profit off of hate, if you act as a megaphone for misinformation or cyber warfare, if you don't police your platforms, we are going to hold you accountable as a community.
Wow, that's some communist crap right there, is what that is. It's plain and simple. You can argue with me all you want, Democrats, but that's what that is. Mm-hmm. And if you support that, shame on you. That's gross, what she just said. Police the speech. Police it. What? Oh, I'm sorry, what?
That is language that just goes a bridge too far.
She jumped every commie shark is what she did. All of them. Every single one of them. That's not okay. None of that is okay. It's because, listen, if you're on the side that you think that that's okay, it's because you want to shut down the other side. You're the person who, if I'm talking, listen, I've seen them on my social media. You're the person who, if I mention something about being a right winger, you immediately block me. You can't take it. You can't handle it. You can't hear it. Shame on you. Listen to the other side. This is why people 25, 30 years ago could sit in a room. They could have political conversations with one another. We used to be able to do that. We could have discourse. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. Freaking keep an open mind about it. Just listen to people. They don't want to do that anymore. And that is communism.
Well, and speaking of communism, there was a video that was going viral yesterday of President Putin in Russia talking about who he endorses. And wouldn't you know it?
If we can name a favorite candidate, it used to be Joe Biden, but now he is not participating in the election campaign, and he recommended all his allies to support Ms. Harris. So that is what we are going to do. So he said that we should, that is why we should also do that. Well, her laugh, she's laughing, her laugh is so fascinating. It means that everything is good, and if everything is good, it means that for instance, if we're speaking about Joe Biden, there are so many sanctions against Russia introduced, and if everything is good with Ms. Harris, maybe she'll refrain herself from such measures, or maybe she'll change them. So in the end, it will be the choice of the U.S. people, and we will respect this choice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first, like, that's debatable, but still, it's funny to me how the MSM wants you to think that he and Trump are BFFs when he wants Kamala to be president because she's weak and she's malleable, she's moldable. It's like she's just pathetic, and he knows he can walk all over her, and that's why
he's making fun of her at the same time,
right?
As he's like, man, I hope she wins because like
that cackle.
I mean, everything's fine.
Yeah.
She's not gonna do anything bad to us because she's so happy and joyful.
She's an idiot, and I can walk all over that biatch. And that's exactly what he's saying. He's saying that out loud, and he knows he can't do that to Trump. That's it.
Yep.
How can they not see it? Can Democrats not see this? It's like he basically said it out loud right there. And they're still going to be like, Trump and Putin are BFFs. He just said it. He just said, oh my God.
Joe Biden is, now that like he's on his way out, he's just saying all the things. And so if you're one of the dumbasses out there who actually believed at any point in time that the Inflation Reduction Act was created to reduce inflation, you're high. And now Joe Biden is saying the quiet part out loud.
My investments, through my investments, the most significant climate change law ever. And by the way, it is a $369 billion bill. It's called the, we should have named it what it was, but at any rate.
You should have named it what it was.
He slipped. Well, that's a slip. It's like, they're like, never let him speak in public again. Ever. And they get mad when we don't want to vote on a border bill that has a bunch of pork crammed in it. You know, a bunch of other crap. Every bill they put out there has it's something else. It's never what it should actually be. It should be like
never a standalone.
Should be a standalone bill. It should be a singular standalone bill, which is what these people should be doing if they actually knew how to do their freaking jobs well. That's what they would do. But they call it something that it's not. They cram a bunch of stuff in, and then they use it as political fodder to try to like be mean to the other side or to gain points with the American people. They didn't pass it. You guys,
how could they not want to reduce inflation?
Right. Those jerks. That's not what it was. It was a climate change bill.
And it in fact contributed to inflation.
Yeah.
Because it's a bunch of nonsense spending.
And Biden just admitted it out loud.
Yeah. They admit a lot of things out loud when given the opportunity. Like, for example, Chuck Schumer saying exactly what he wants to have happen to all of these illegals.
The way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
What in the world?
Embrace them in your house, Chuck.
Right?
Embrace them at your mansion. I want to see that first. And then maybe I'll think about embracing some illegals. But I want to see at least 5 in his mansion. At least 5. And I want them to all be adult males.
Yes.
Yes. All of them. Yeah. Preferably the criminals.
Some Venezuelan gang members.
That would be great. Armed. And I want him to take him into his guest rooms in his mansion. Let's see you do that, Chuck. I swear this guy, what a piece of work these people are.
I know. And it gets worse because you know how anytime Biden is stopped by the press pool when they're like, how are negotiations for a ceasefire coming between Israel and Gaza? And he's always like, we're so close, right? He's always saying that. Here is where those negotiations are, according to Bibi.
Minister Benjamin Netanyahu making news on Fox and Friends, denying reports that negotiators are closing in on a ceasefire deal. Give this a listen.
Post is reporting that you're 90% there in negotiations with Hamas towards a ceasefire deal. Would you say that's accurate?
No, it's exactly inaccurate. There's a story, a narrative out there. There's a deal out there. In fact, while we agreed in July and in May and July and in August to a deal and to an American proposal. Hamas has consistently said no to every one of them.
Okay.
So
yeah, the press basically is like the press is full of shit,
and so is Biden. So
right?
is Biden for saying
They're
we're close.
They're lying. They're all lying to you. Yeah.
There's so much lying happening, just
God,
so
everywhere.
much.
Yeah, trust no one.
Trust no one. And do not trust Mark Cuban, who has lost his mind and is now just like all in for Kamala, which is crazy.
It is.
And then what's even crazier is that he goes on to he calls into CNBC to talk about how dangerously awful the unrealized capital gains tax would be that she is proposing. And then you're not going to hear this part of the conversation, but I will tell you about it, and then you're going to hear him push back. In part of this conversation, he actually claimed that he talks to Kamala 3 or 4 times a week and that she assures him that everything's going to be just fine. And this idiot believes her. And that's when the people on CNBC are like, WTF is wrong with you. Here's the exchange.
Well, of course. But okay, so what I told him was if you tax unrealized gains, you're going to kill the stock market. Right.
My God.
And it's going to be the ultimate employment plan for private equity because companies are not going to go public because you can get whipsawed. Right. I mean, my own personal experience back from the internet days. Right. All of a sudden I was cash poor, but equity rich. Right. My net worth was enormous, but the number of dollars in the bank wasn't enormous. And so I'd have, based off of the unrealized gains, I would have had to borrow money. And I effectively would have been in hock just to pay my tax bill instead of trying to run my company and 1,000 other reasons, right? So they realize that's the issue.
Oh my God.
I can't repeat it enough. Even though she's not directly conflicting the Biden tax plan, to her value proposition is we need to tax everybody fairly. I'm starting from the Biden plan as a starting point, but that's not necessarily her ending
Mark,
point.
let me just say, I appreciate you calling in, telling us what you're hearing on these fronts. That's great. But as you've said yourself, you can't speak for the vice president. These are things they're telling you. Who knows what they're telling other people? My guess is they're telling anybody who's donating to them exactly what they want to hear at this point. What matters is what they say publicly and what they will stick to.
No, absolutely, positively not. Right. Let me just be very
I don't know.
clear.
Like, why do you think that they're telling you the truth and not telling other people other things?
Well, I don't,
if they won't say it publicly, say it publicly. Tell all of us so that we can hold you to it.
I get it, but you got to get the details right. You can't just.
Yeah, but we have 60 days till an election. Like, you're asking people to take a flyer.
Even if it's the day before the election, right? Even if it's the day before. Look, the next question is, the second thing I was going to mention it earlier.
I just don't want everybody to trade on what we think and what we feel and what we think may happen.
Exactly.
Just tell us.
Do you? Do you get it? Do you get her point, Mark?
He does not.
So is he okay with the fact that she even floated that idea? That she floated that policy? Like, that's the thing. He's like,
and it's out there. It's out there.
Right.
So why does he think she's giving him like inside intel? She's saying to the public what she's going to do.
Yeah, I'm going to do this, but maybe not so hard.
Maybe not for you.
Maybe not for you, Mark Cuban. I mean, I may, it won't be so bad for you, but this is a policy. The fact that she even floated that policy is just colossal dumbassery. And he should be like, that's a huge red flag.
And he knows it. Like he articulated exactly why it's terrible. A bad thing.
Right. That it's terrible. And he gave the reasons why. And based on a personal anecdote, he gave the reasons why. So why on earth would he back this broad? Why would he do that?
He's lost
oh my
his
God.
mind.
Yeah, he's lost his. He has. You know why? Because he has TDS. He has such extreme hatred for Trump that he just is unwilling to see what's right in front of his face. And that is that she is a terrible communist candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, if she gets elected, I hope he becomes poverty stricken because of her. I hope he's the first one that has to hunt in the zoo for his food. Seriously.
I know, right? I mean,
good luck with that, Mark, because he's been living the high life for so long. He won't know how to do it. Good luck.
They're so snowed. They're so easily snowed because they want to feel important. Ooh, I get to talk to Kamala 3 to 4 times a week. And he feels like he can trust her when all she wants is his money. That's it.
That's all they all want. And he's like, well, I'm one of the billionaires that she likes. Really? Okay. Her policies suck. You just said it. You said out loud that that policy sucked. Why would you stump for her? It makes zero sense, except for the fact that he is so riddled with TDS. Somebody's got to make a vaccine for that, you guys. Steve said, hey, Daisy, you should get a zoo. Totally.
When Huma is not busying herself being the fiance of Alex Soros, she apparently also interviews people on MSNBC.
Really?
And yeah. And one of those people was Valerie Jarrett, who wants to tell you all about how, yes, Kamala is super woman and super black, but like she doesn't expect that that's what's going to get her elected. But isn't it great that she's like super woman and super black? And also, isn't it so great how much joy she has and the laughter? That's how she says laughter. She says the laughter. It's the most obnoxious conversation ever. You have to hear it. Behold.
Okay. Well, in short, Huma, yes, I think we have. And certainly no one knows better than you how hard everyone worked back in 2016. And we've learned a lot since then. And I think what Hillary Clinton did is she shattered the glass ceiling, but it didn't quite break. And what I expect Vice President Harris to do is to break it into the zillions of pieces that we've been waiting for. And I think what she has said very aptly is, look, she's not running because she's a woman. She's not running because she's a person of color. She doesn't expect to win because of those issues. She expects to win because she is actually the most qualified person running for office. And that's what's most important. And I think the issues that she cares about, working families, creating opportunity, she lived the American dream. And what she's often said is she wants to make that dream available to every American. And I think at a time right now when our country's feeling so polarized, she helps bring us together. She puts joy and laughter and a sense of unity back in our country. And that's why I think it has been so electric over the last 6 weeks. And we just have to not take, as we all know, a single vote for granted and work really hard through Election Day. But I am confident that she will win.
You guys laughing at all the economic policies she's coming out with? You laughing? Your gas prices, your food prices. Just laughter. You're laughing at it? Because I'm not laughing. I'm finding it really hard to laugh at all of those things. Like the unknown capital gains, like that. How can people laugh at that? It's crazy. And all the things she wants to do to small businesses and seizing people's patents. Does that like make you laugh? Because if you're laughing, then you're insane.
Who cares about all that when there's so much joy?
They're high. They're all high. I can't.
Well, at least some folks on CNN are starting to figure out that maybe she's not all she says she is. And this was quite an amazing segment. I've had to cut it because it was actually a long segment. It was probably close to 4 minutes long. So I've cut out some of it. But the gist is that Erin Burnett, of all people on CNN, she, along with a colleague who you'll hear from in this clip, did an investigation into why Kamala was showing in her own ads Trump's border wall. And so the fact that CNN called this out was extraordinary.
Or you'll see first out front. The K-File team scoured Kamala Harris's tweets and statements going all the way back to 2017. And what they found was more than 50 instances of Harris slamming Trump's border wall. But now, new Harris campaign ads actually showcase that very wall. And on top of critical tweets, Harris also wrote in her 2019 book, quote, "There was a bigger reason to oppose the border wall. A useless wall on the southern border would be nothing more than a symbol, a monument standing in opposition to not just everything I value, but to the fundamental values upon which this country was built. How could I vote to build what would be little more than a monument designed to send the cold, hard message, keep out?" Well, K-File's Andrew Kaczynski joins me now. So, Andrew, I mean, you all have gone through, scoured an incredible amount of material. Tell me more about what you found.
Yeah, but there was really a lot of this was the common refrain during the campaign. You read that quote where she said it was against everything that not only she stood for, everything America stood for, but and she brought this up a lot. Take a listen to just one instance of that in 2019.
It's the president's vanity project.
His multi-billion-dollar vanity project called a wall is nothing more than a distraction from the fact that he actually hasn't focused on working people in America.
He contrived a national crisis around his big distraction.
All right, so you go through all of that, you've got all the tweets, and yet all of a sudden in the ads, there's pictures of the wall, and then you went through to look at that wall. Like, what is that specific wall that's in her campaign ads now? And you found something very interesting about this specific portion of the wall.
And I think what's also really remarkable about this is, like, I mean, you heard her talking about it there, Trump's wall in his campaign during his presidency. There was really no greater symbol of Trump's presidency than the wall, and the way that Democrats were attacking him over the wall and his restrictive immigration policies. So we looked in that ad, and if you look at it, that exact area of wall is in Sasabe, Arizona, and that is a portion of wall that was actually built by Donald Trump. It was built in an area where there was not previous wall. It was actually pretty controversial when they were building it at the time. So just to see that, and then there are other.
She's using his wall that he built to say, "Look at what I did."
And the other images of the wall, we weren't able to pinpoint, but there's telltale signs that was a Trump wall, because there's an anti-climbing plate on top that became popularized during the Trump years.
It's really incredible reporting and important. All right, Andrew Kaczynski and K-File, thank you very much.
Can you even?
God, CNN is doing that. I just can't believe that was CNN.
Right.
And then she has a book called The Truths We Hold. When has she ever told the truth?
Exactly.
Ever. It's just, that's rich. Yeah.
The folks at Grabian put together a little montage of all, and this went on for minutes. So we just have a tiny portion of it here that includes Megyn Kelly, because it's so funny when Megyn talks about all of Kamala's various accents. Here it is.
Voter suppression.
The accent is back.
Stacey Abrams would be the governor of Georgia.
Oh my God.
Andrew Gillum is the governor of Florida.
First, we saw her develop the magical accent when she was down south.
I'm going to get into some business now. Okay.
And now it's back.
You all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
We're going to beat him in November.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
We all know you don't talk like that. You've been vice president for 4 years.
Right.
He does not walk it like he talks it.
She doesn't talk like this.
When we get this done together, my friend.
I know how to talk to you. I mean, come on.
Will I see people testifying? Can I get a witness?
And they know. We all know she's just a big walking bag of artifice.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Best rapper alive, Tupac.
The possibilities are immense. Whatever you want to do, you can do. I eat no for breakfast.
She eats no for breakfast, you guys.
What does that mean?
I don't even. Nobody knows. But it's provocative. Nobody knows what it means. She's an idiot.
This doesn't mean anything.
She's an idiot and she's a phony. I mean, look at her. She all the accents so ridiculous. She just sounds ridiculous. Especially when you see it in a montage, you're like, wow, what a moron.
Okay, the next thing you're about to see, and I'm sure by now, I hate to remind people that this is a person that exists, but I had to see it, and therefore you had to see it. You guys remember Mayor de Blasio?
Yes! Oh my God! With this crazy family.
Guys. Oh my God.
What's he doing? What is he doing now? Is he working at Starbucks? What's he doing?
He is making silent videos of what he's eating for lunch.
Oh.
And what he's eating for lunch should be against the law.
Okay.
Look at what he does to a perfectly good piece of pizza. That is coconut. That is sweet coconut.
And he's violently putting it on there. Is he okay?
It should also be against the law to eat pizza like that. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Why did he film this? Why do we have to see this?
Know.
Why are we being subjected to this? Wait, this is an assault. We're being assaulted by de Blasio and his pizza. I feel like there's got to be a lawyer out there that could represent us. Have you been assaulted by de Blasio and his coconut pizza?
I mean, that is That's vile. And what compelled him to?
I don't know.
Put that out in the world. I don't know. I do not know.
And somebody asked if he carries a bag of coconut like around in his pants. Are you just happy to see me, or is that a bag of coconut? He carries it around so he can like shove it on just lunch. What is that? Dude is weird.
Yeah, super weird and freakishly tall. All right,
Yeah.
we mentioned that Trump was he gave a speech at an economic meeting of some sort, and I have a couple clips from it. They were really, really good. Now, he did get some criticism about the way that he answered some of the panelists' questions, because it's true, they were super wonky. Like some of the questions were like, exactly how would you pay for this specific program? And he just likes to talk in generalities, where he's like, well, my policies, particularly with energy, are going to bring in so much money to this country that paying for these programs is not going to be an issue. And I get that. And what makes me mad is that there are Kamala people who are complaining that he can't articulate good policy answers to economic questions. And I'm like, she won't even do these interviews.
Right.
Take every seat.
Every last freaking seat. She's never done an interview like this, ever.
It just makes me so mad. But anyway, here he is talking about Trump, about his energy policies and bringing energy back to the forefront in America. Here it is.
First, I will end Kamala Harris's anti-energy crusade and implement a policy of energy abundance, energy independence, and even energy dominance. We have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country, including Russia and Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
We'll be using it. My plan will cut energy prices in half or more than that within 12 months of taking office. It will be an economic revival of our country like no one has ever seen before. Energy was what caused our problem initially. Energy is going to bring us back. That means we're going down and getting gasoline below $2 a gallon, bring down the price of everything from electricity rates to groceries, airfares, and housing costs.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. Somebody said, Sue said, drill, baby, drill. Agreed. We need to do that. Why haven't we done that?
Because of day one Biden.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
He also talked about how he goes about making decisions, and they're always based on America being like one of his businesses. And I know you appreciate that.
I do.
Having a businessman look at managing a company from a fiscal responsible standpoint is what this country needs. And he talks about putting America first.
For 4 straight years, I fought for American workers like I would fight for my own family. I took care of our economy like I would take care of my own company. In every decision I asked, will I create jobs here or will I be sending jobs overseas? Will it make America richer and stronger, or will it make our country weaker and poorer? I always put America first every single time.
Amen to that.
Right.
And I appreciate that. And that's why I like him. That's why I like Vance. That's why I liked Vivek. It's why I liked Burgum. It's because all these guys are business people and they understand those concepts and they understand everything that he just said. You guys, I mean, that's important to us. These people that have been career politicians for half a century don't understand that. They don't. They just like sucking money off of the American taxpayer. Doesn't make us as any richer or more successful or more independent of all of these countries that hate us and want to destroy us. He gets that.
Yeah. And he also had to put in a little dig about Kamala's copycat thing with the tax on tips. And he even suggested, well, I'll just let you hear it.
The 5th pillar of my plan is to make the Trump tax cuts permanent. They are massive tax cuts, biggest ever, permanent. And to cut taxes even more, and we will have no tax on tips, something which they copied 4 weeks after I said it. She got up and said, no tax on tips. I said, I just said that. She is actually copying a lot of my plan. In fact, we're going to send her a MAGA cap sometime in the next week.
Oh my
we're
God,
having a special one made.
They totally should. I wish they would just do that. Just do it. They should troll her campaign and just send her a cap and like a t-shirt and a poster. Yeah.
And then Vance, he's got that dog Atlas, the German Shepherd. I didn't realize that the dog is relatively new to the family. It's a 10-month-old dog. And he and Vivek, his son Vivek, were, on a jetway with the dog about to board a flight. And they just are so freaking cute. And so just look at them.
He's pretty well behaved for a 10-month-old dog.
Yeah.
Coda be wrecking the place. He'd be like running around, ball swinging, peeing on stuff.
And this is what he said to everyone asking. I can confirm Atlas has bitten 0 Secret Service agents. I've had dogs all my life. Atlas isn't even 10 months old and is already an all-time great dog.
I love it. Atlas, we need to send him some Ruff Greens.
Oh my gosh, he does hate Ruff Greens.
He does. So fussy.
And then Melania's book is coming out shortly. It's already available for pre-order. I cannot wait to read this. She has put out a video teaser for the book. Right here.
Writing this memoir has been a deeply personal and reflective journey for me.
She's so gorgeous.
As a private person who has often been the subject of public scrutiny and misrepresentation, I feel a responsibility to clarify the facts. I believe it is important to share my perspective, the truth.
I want to read that book.
Totally. I absolutely do too. There was some chick on Twitter, because I always read the comments. There's some chick on Twitter that was making fun of, she's a PhD, and she was making fun of her accent. She was like, what about Christmas? She wrote, KREEEEESMAS on Twitter, making fun of her accent. This is what liberals do. They make fun of her accent and her legal immigration status. Like, she's a legal immigrant who did it right, which is weird to me. They make fun of that. And then they want all the illegals to come in. They make fun of her modeling, which is also weird because all the other first ladies have been on the cover of Vogue when Melania is an actual model. So that's weird to me. They make fun of her being dumb. She speaks several languages. She is far from dumb. This chick is really smart. They treat her like absolute garbage, and they claim to be like the champion of women. These people are disgusting when it comes to them. They have treated her like utter garbage, and she has more class in her pinky finger than like a stadium full of Democrats. I like Melania a lot. Yeah. And I'm very excited I'm excited about this. I think it's great. It's nice that she is finally like, you know what? F you. This is the truth. This is my story. I get to speak now. I'm speaking.
That's right.
And I'm very happy that she did this, because it's about
she's
time.
So mysterious, Yes. And so I'm sure I'm not the only one that just has this. I just want to know her. Like, I want to know what makes her tick. And she does seem almost cold. Like there's something that's very
dignified, very dignified. She's very
super classy, but like unapproachable in a way.
Right.
Like
that's a good word.
Very guarded. You can tell she's very guarded. And so what was so interesting, because even in that teaser that you saw, she's very serious and she's but I saw, this is such a huge treat. I think it will be. If you haven't seen it before, it was a huge treat for me to watch it. When she and Donald first got engaged, they were on Ellen DeGeneres' show, and she was a completely different person. Like, she was smiley and vivacious. Not that she's not vivacious, but like, do you ever see her like seem gleeful? She smiles, but she's very proper and like guarded.
And I think that's because of the job that she's had to do.
I think it's the job, and I think it's how she's been treated.
I was just going to say, I mean, that people have just been awful
They've been
to her.
awful. And
More
who,
than
I mean,
any,
who wouldn't have their guard up after
right?
that?
More than any other first lady in our history, she's been treated worse than any other one. I just, and she doesn't deserve it at all.
No, not at all. But that's why it was kind of neat to see when they were first together, and she was just so relaxed and easy, and it was just such a treat to see them. You guys will love this if you haven't seen it already. It was new to me.
Donald Trump and Melania. And where are you from, Melania?
I'm from Slovenia.
Slovenia.
Yes.
Melania from Slovenia.
That's right.
And Melania, you're now engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's very exciting. That's all I got you, is that little tiny thing right there on your finger? Look at the size of that. That's how many carats is that?
I don't know. I never think about it.
You don't think about carats?
No.
I bet you do. I bet you know exactly how many carats
I
it is.
do, actually.
See. And where did you two meet?
We met in New York. It was a fashion week, and it was a party, big party. So we met there.
And now he comes over and says what?
He came over and he said, what did you say? I think he said,
give me your number immediately. I want your phone number. It was very crude, but sometimes it works.
It's just that easy?
It's very direct.
I want your phone number?
No, it's very direct.
Yeah.
And you either get slapped or you get the number. In her case, I didn't get slapped. I didn't get the number. I worked on it for about a month, and then finally I was able to find out
Yes.
where she lived and everything.
Look at that.
I worked hard.
You said you were friends. How long have you known each other?
Well, we've...
6
Okay,
years.
go ahead, honey.
6 years.
Yeah.
6 years?
It was 6 years, yeah.
That's great.
Since we know each other.
So you do know each other very well.
Yes, we do.
And at home, does he take out the garbage? Is he that kind of...
No.
No.
He's doing his job. And I let him do his job, and I do my job, and a housekeeper do his job, her
right,
job.
but still, even if you have a housekeeper, are you neat? Are you messy? If somebody's got to be
pretty neat, but she's very neat. She's from a part of the world, the Austria-Slovenia thing, which is like immaculate, and she is so neat. Everything's perfect. If I get up, leave bed for a minute, I come back, the bed is made, which is pretty amazing. When you have somebody like this that also has that characteristic, that's a pretty unusual trait. So I'm very happy about it.
Yeah,
I like stuff perfect, you know.
Me too. I like.
I'm
neat
very
things.
organized. So.
Good. And now, when is the wedding? When are you going to get married? Is it set?
Sometime in the beginning of next year, I think. And I think it's going to work. What do you think? Do you think it'll work?
I think so.
I think it's going to work.
They're adorable.
I mean, they're so cute.
I think they're super cute too. I love that. I love that you found that. That's really, really precious.
Yeah.
And I think that they absolutely love each other, and people don't give them enough credit for being in love and loving each other. And I think it's because, it's like you see the Obamas always like, oh, they're such a great couple and they love each other and they talk to each other like the way that they talk to each other online and whatever. Not everybody's like that. Sometimes couples are just private and they love each other in private.
Yeah.
And, and I love that. I love that they're like, you could tell that they do have such a affection for one another. And I think that that's so sweet. And so I'm glad that you found that.
Yeah, it was just neat to watch it because that offered sort of some insight into her that you don't often see because she is so guarded in her role as first lady and ex-first lady, and
Right. It also offered insight into the fact that people like Ellen are awful because
they were great friends before the
right.
R.
Isn't that interesting how that works?
Yep. All right, for Schlong today, we're just going to show a quick video. Probably need to mute it because I think it's got some copyrighted sound. You don't need to hear anything. This is a woman's perspective. She's in the middle seat on an airplane, seated between two men. And she wants to show you what it looks like being in that middle seat. And so here is the video, which is unbelievable. Look at how squished in she is by the dude on the right.
That's really...
Would you stand for this?
There's actually like audio and the person's screaming. Like it's like internal screaming.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's like from a movie, and that's why
lots of cursing and screaming and everything. Yeah. And it's infuriating. I would not tolerate that though. I don't know why is she tolerating it? Just ask. I mean, they do the man spread because of their ballular area. I get it. I would be like, can I just have my space? I mean, I would just ask the question. I would be like, can you move so I can actually have the space that I paid for? Thanks. So just instead of being so ragey, just like
internally ragey and then silent on the outside. Like, why would you not say something?
Right. And then post it on social media. Just ask the person next to you nicely if you can have your freaking space. Like, just be nice about it and ask. Why is this a hard thing?
Comments, because this went absolutely viral to the point where even like Fox News covered this as a story. And a lot of people were saying, just you need to say something. They don't need to be over that much. There's no need for that guy to be spreading that far. Own your space. It is yours. Then some of the guys that were answering were like, well, it's comfy for them to sit like that. So what?
Yeah. Well,
nobody's supposed to be comfortable on a flight.
And it's uncomfortable for her to sit like that.
Yeah.
So that's not okay. And she paid for that seat. Exactly. So let her have her like 1 foot of space that she gets and like the 1 inch of like leaning back that she gets on a plane. Hello, we all get that. Everybody gets it. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. And they're being kind of jerks.
This is awful. And it's like he is pressing his leg against her, which is so offensive on every level.
It's a little weird.
But you can tell in the comments, like the people who are normal, who would just simply say, excuse me, but like you're really invading my space and I paid for the seat just like you did. Let's stay to our lanes, right? But then there's other people going, oh my God, I would cry. I just would not know what to do. Oh my God.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's all kinds of people women that are openly saying, I just would never do that. Other people are saying, I would be farting up a storm. And
this is what women are saying. Women are saying that. Oh my God, that's hysterical. That is so funny. Yeah. But to not be able to speak up, I mean, that's ridiculous. The thing I think that would bother me the most, it's not even sitting like that, but I don't like, why do you got to touch me?
Right.
You know, I don't know you. It's like, I mean, I get it. Like sometimes you're in close proximity and like your arms are going to touch something. I get it. But like 2 dudes, like literally like smashed up against you. I'm already a little claustrophobic. I would be kind of like, okay, can you not? Like, I don't, can we not do this?
But the point is you would say something.
Oh, I'd absolutely say something.
One girl, this one girl named Kat said, joke's on them. I'm claustrophobic and I'll throw up on them if I have any less than the allotted space I paid for.
I mean, I would absolutely say this is the problem is too many people are not handling these things like adults and they're going directly to social media to be complaining about it and freaking out about it when everybody else has to get involved. Like we're doing this right now. And I get it, but I mean, just handle it like an adult, do the adulting thing, an adult. Yeah.
Now here's somebody said that this happened to her on a flight. She said, yep, this happened to me. And I just slung my leg right over the top of his. And then he was very aware of space after that.
That I love. That I think I may actually consider that. That would be great. What up? What up, dog? Just be like, what up, dog? Bruh.
Oh my God. Yeah. I just love that so much.
That's a great solution. I think that's the best solution so far. And call it bruh.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. All right. It is time for your DD.
All right. My DD. You guys, as you know, we both used to live in Indy. I am obviously no longer there. Mock is almost ready to get the heck out of there. But we knew Eric Holcomb and we actually were in his wedding. We used to be pretty close to them. He has turned out to be a giant disappointment.
Yeah.
And he's one of those that gets into office and then they just do all the Democrat things, even though they have an R after their name. So this is one of the things that is just extremely, extremely disappointing. And you guys, he got creamed in the comments, rightly so.
Yeah.
But the whole honored to be the first U.S. governor to meet with President Zelensky since the invasion began, discussed Indiana's unwavering support for Ukraine and the ongoing partnership between our people. Indiana people were like, I'm sorry, I'm from Indiana. Did you talk to me? Because I don't support this. And there's no unwavering support from me. So talk for yourself, bub. Yeah. So people were really pissed. The Indiana people were not happy. And I'm not happy about this. And I know you're not happy about this. And this just does not represent Indiana well. This is the kind of, and it doesn't represent conservatives well. Like, I don't know what he's doing this, but What a disappointment.
Well, I don't know what he's been doing the past 8 years that now he's going to have been in office. Like, what does he have to show for it except for some photo ops? It's like, you don't ever hear anything about him because there is nothing that he's doing.
Yeah.
And so I'm
traveling to the Ukraine. Yeah, exactly. And spending taxpayer money, being like a really bad governor. So this is a case in point. What a disappointment. You know?
Yeah, especially when you have Governor Ron DeSantis, who is leading on every single issue. That any issue that comes up, he is out in front of it. He has like written a blueprint for the rest of Republican governors across the country, and most of them have ignored him, unfortunately. Yeah. So it's just,
and Eric's like, look, I grew a beard and I went to Kiev.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. And so we'll call out Republicans where we need to call them out. This is one we're going to call out. It's just what a waste.
Yeah, truly. It's now time for My Pillow Talks. And by the way, if you have not gotten yourself towels from My Pillow, what are you doing, you guys? They are $25 for a 6-piece set of towels. Just $25. Just go to mypillow.com/chicks. Use promo code chicks. You're going to get discounts on everything. But if you haven't tried the towels yet, I cannot implore you hard enough. You're missing out on the best towels of all time.
They're very thirsty.
Okay, so the first talk I have is for you, and because you are a pool owner and you also live in a place that has snakes.
Oh, yeah.
And this just completely freaked me out on every single level. You'll understand as soon as you see it. Right here.
Jacob's going in the hole in the pool. Jacob, grab his tail, Jacob! Jacob!
No.
Run, grab his tail. Oh, my God. It's swam in here. It's under your foot. You can still grab. Oh my God, you can see it.
No way.
It's in there. It's in there. Look at it. No. Yes, I swear to God.
He's like, no.
Let me step on this.
Wait.
Look. Stop! Bro, I swear there's a giant snake in there, bro. He swam right in there. Watch out when you lift it.
My God.
The whole
careful,
thing.
Dude.
He was going in and out of the pool. All right, let me get the hook, bro.
Oh my God.
So you could see it in there.
Get a hook and a gun.
I'm afraid he's gonna come out and just.
Why would you not get a gun?
Wait. Oh, bro. I can't believe
Where did you get in? From here?
I don't know. There's a hole on the side.
It's a big one too. It's big.
Pull that thing as hard as you can. Pull that thing as hard as you can, bro.
Why is he doing
Get that thing out of here. Oh, here he goes. 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 Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, his head's out there.
I'll let him through.
Nope. No.
Oh my God. He's going out. Pull. Dude. Grab his tail. That's
oh
not
my
his tail.
God, he's getting in the pool.
Jacob, why he's coming to me? Jacob, what are you doing? Why are you underwater? He grabbed it underwater. Look at this.
This guy's a death wish.
It makes sense. Dude, that was the coolest capture. That was awesome.
I can't. People are saying it's a pet and it's staged. It has.
Oh my
to
God,
be.
I hope that that's true.
I hope that that's true because there's just no. Yeah, get a hoe. You either get a hoe or you get not that kind of hoe, but like a garden hoe. You get a garden hoe or you get a gun, a snake gun.
Okay. If it's a pet, but it's still like, why would you have that as a pet?
Yeah,
Gross.
I'm judging you if you have that as a pet. I'm judging you.
Stuff of nightmares. Oh my God.
It is. God, it's a freaking nightmare.
In keeping with our cats are liquid theme, what is even happening to that second cat?
God, I love it so much. Can he breathe?
I don't think so.
How can he breathe in there?
I don't know.
Oh my God, I love him.
They are so liquid. Okay, this dog is being trained to pet the cat, which is that's a tall order for a dog.
It is.
Right?
Look how sweet he is.
Oh my gosh,
his face.
He is frustrated though. He's frustrated by these lessons. You can tell he does not like performing this trick, and this is just precious.
Cat? No,
I don't want to pet the cat.
No, stop. Really, can you pet the cat?
I'm gonna.
Pet the cat?
Kind of a pet.
That's a pet.
That is so
That
nice.
was a pet.
That was a good boy.
It really
He's like, I want to
was.
eat the cat.
And then you guys look at how clean
Mock needs a raccoon, you guys. But why? But why does he have a raccoon in his house? I mean,
I don't know, but look. He's like, don't speak. Don't speak.
Be quiet.
Just love me.
I don't
Just
understand your
quiet.
language.
Ojalá fueras así siempre, cabrón.
I don't speak Spanish.
I'm just going to stretch.
I'm going to lay
Oh
and show my
God.
belly. How did he end up with a raccoon? I need to know the backstory on this.
I don't know, but that was precious.
Okay, it was cute. I'll give you that. He's really cute. It's just their hands.
I know.
It's always the hands, right? I know. Steve's like, hey, Daisy, you should get I know. I should get a raccoon, right? Steve? Yep.
Oh my gosh. A couple more thank yous to say to CFO Plus Services. Thank you for the super sticker. Don Ackley says Trump said he would pardon Hunter after Biden said he wouldn't. Ooh, that would be interesting.
I guess it would be like a unity thing.
I guess. Man, that would be something. Teresa Raimundo says, amen on the tax thing. Paying that annual tax bill would be frightening, but then the IRS might be hard pressed to charge us penalty fees every quarter. Yeah, that's a good point. Living in New Tampa and Wesley Chapel says self-employed people have to write a check for taxes and usually file an extension until October 15th. Maybe that's why most entrepreneurs are conservative. Yes.
Yeah, we know that. We are well aware of that. Yes.
Michelle Boyd says, my friend from Venezuela said we are all well on our way to becoming Venezuela 2.0. That's so infuriating.
I believe that.
She also says Melania shows poise in the face of all the adversity. The attacks have sucked some of the joy out of her, but not her courage. I hope she gets her joy back.
I think she probably has joy, but she's just very, like you said, she's very guarded.
Yeah.
When she's in public. And I get that.
Yeah. Jose Rodriguez says, chicks, check your email. I sent a clip of Trump's appearance on Letterman. He remains true to his fiscal values and love for our country. Have a great weekend and morning from Texas. Take my money. Barbara Trammell says maybe he's asleep and relaxed into her. Regardless, grow up. Either say something or suck it up, referring to the plane.
Okay.
And Alexandra says, this is why I'm an aisle seat gal. And just to echo Brian Brumley's request, can we please have Friday flaps? I especially need it for the weekend while I'm traveling. Have a good weekend, everybody, and see y'all again in 6.
I will try to do that. First, I have a question. What is your name today?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. So Conor McGregor, the fighter, you guys know Conor McGregor.
Okay. Yeah.
He is apparently running for president in Ireland. And I have no idea how Irish politics works. I don't know how elections work there. I have no idea. But he is apparently running for president. I meant to mention that at the very beginning of the show.
Okay.
Thank you so much for reminding me.
Yeah, because I'm like, why is your name Conor McGregor? Okay. The president now is that dude with the dog, right? He always walks around with the dog. I don't know his name.
Is it? I don't know. Isn't that a mayor? I feel like that might be
I thought that was the president, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah,
I don't know. Don't know a lot about Irish politics, but that's very interesting that he's doing that. Wasn't he in the last Roadhouse movie? He was.
Yes.
And I watched it. I suffered through that.
It was not great.
You guys don't watch it.
It's not great.
I took a bullet for you, and I think Mock did too.
Mm-hmm.
The only redeeming quality about that movie was Jake Gyllenhaal's body. He did a good job sculpting that. Everything else about that movie was trash. Don't watch it.
Really,
okay. All right. I'm gonna get a dog.
We'll hug first.
Oh, hug first. We're hugging first. Bring it in. Everybody bring it in. Everybody bring it in.
Definitely get somebody to flap.
I'll try. Hold on.
And speaking of raccoons, I am wearing my raccoon shirt today, you guys. Isn't that so cute? Every little thing is going to be all right. Every little thing. There she is. Oh my God.
You got to flap. You got to flap. No, you got to flap. Come on. Flappy flap.
She's so excited.
She wants to, she's so excited. You got to flap. You got to flap. You got to flap. She's like pushing. You got to flap. You got to flap. Do it. You got to flap.
Kiss her again. Kiss her again.
She just flapped. Did you see it? She just flapped like twice. Did you guys see it?
Okay, I feel
did
like
it. She
minimal flaps.
They were pretty big. It was actually pretty big.
Okay.
Mwah. Did you flap? You flap? You got to flap it. You did it like 3. She did it like twice. You guys just
Maybe
may have been off camera.
She's low on the screen. Yeah, that's probably.
She's so hyper. She's gonna like break my face. She's so excited. Her brothers aren't here. They're off getting pup cups because she doesn't go to get pup cups in the morning with their dad, with her dad. But the boys do because they like driving in the car, but she likes being on the couch, you guys. So everybody, okay. Some people saw the flaps. All right, good. All right,
count
guys,
for sure.
It does count. Okay, you guys have a fantastic weekend. We will talk to you on Monday. Bye.